Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where I have something a little different today. It's more of an after action report on Vuca Simulations' new game Traces of War. It's a chit pool operational level game, just came out this year on the Eastern Front, starting in August 1943 and running to March 1944. And like I said, it's chit pool. And I mean, there are basically like no rules. There's like one thing that can column shift attacks, and otherwise it's just getting enough numbers in an attack to increase your odds ratio. It's just a numbers game basically, which is simple, but it's also simple. So there's nothing else that really affects combat other than like these rough hexes and the rivers. So like there's no elite units, there's no finicky rules about that. Again, it's very straightforward. You can basically read the rulebook once, and if you played any kind of war game, you'll get the rules pretty quickly. There's some new and cool things, I will say, like for the Axis. One of their chits is the OKH chit, which allows them to do one of three things. They can activate any headquarters, they can activate up to a certain amount of units based on how well the Soviets are doing, or they can do a negotiation with the Supreme Command, and basically like begging Hitler to, one of them is they can try to lift the Supreme Command order. Basically all the cities like Kiev, Ternopil, Kharkiv, Stalino, a couple others have the Supreme Command order chits on them, and if the Soviets take that city while there's a Supreme Command order chit on it, then it's an automatic victory for the Soviets. So the Axis player can use his negotiation points with an OKH chit to lift the Supreme Command order, or he can use the negotiation points to bring in reinforcements. And so yeah, that's kind of an interesting wild card for the Axis player. But yeah, so I don't know really what to make of the game, because again, it's very simple. If it's like you're trying to get somebody new into wargaming, I would definitely check this out, because there aren't any weird rules. It's very intuitive and straightforward. You don't need to constantly check the rule book. But it's hard to go play something like this after playing something like Great Battles of the American Civil War, or any of Mark Simonich's games like Stalingrad or Holland 44 or Ukraine 43. And that brings me up to another point, is this game covers the exact same theater and time frame as Mark Simonich's Ukraine 43. And all I wanted to do while playing this game was play Ukraine 43, because there's just so much more depth to that game, even though it too is pretty intuitive once you understand the system. But there's just more decisions that have to be made rather than just trying to accumulate attack points on a hex. I don't know. There's just other things to take into account on his system. As you can see, I failed miserably as the Soviets. It's 4 turns in. I did the short scenario, and they're supposed to basically be past the Dnipro by now. And these little orange hexes, there's 6 of them across the Dnipro. They're capture points, or crossing points, sorry, and the Soviets have to catch them to get victory points. And then there's also the airborne chit, which also counts as a crossing point. I think historically it landed on the other side of the Dnipro, but there's nothing in the rules that says it can't land on the east side of the Dnipro, because it has to be within 8 hexes of an in-supply Soviet unit. The Voronezh front, which turns into the first Ukrainian front, basically has the best chance of a breakthrough because it's a little bit more open ground. Everywhere else has to cross this major river, the Donets. And even Kharkiv was able to not really come under threat. Basically, again, I didn't. There's two things you have to keep in mind. Well, three. First is when you activate a headquarters unit, you choose either to move then attack all your units, or attack then move all your units. Secondly is you want to it's a numbers game, just surround your target hex with as many numbers as you can. And third is to take advantage of advance after combat, so mechanized units can move 2 hexes, and you just want to use that to get behind your targets, or your the Germans, and exploit those breakthroughs. I didn't do that in the beginning, so it was a very slow slog. Instead of pushing through holes and just throwing your tanks and mechanized corps through the holes and forcing the Germans to retreat. So I didn't do that quite well enough. So yeah, originally I planned to do a full playthrough of this game. I was just kind of giving it a shot to get an understanding of the rules before putting it on the channel, but I don't think I'm going to come back to it, to be honest. It's too arcadey for me, but I mean, the production quality is great, the map looks beautiful, the counters are well done. Like I said, it's easy to get into, so if you have a friend, I think this would be much better played head-to-head rather than solo, although there is a solo track sheet. So yeah, I mean, if one of you are interested in taking this off my hand, but yeah, I don't know, I think it was expensive. It was like $70 or something plus shipping, and for that I don't think kind of this arcadey game is for me. That's it for Traces of War. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. But until the next video, bye for now.